Morning children, welcome back to English class. How are you all? I hope you are doing great. Children, before S7 exams, we have finished 7 units, right? I mean 7th unit we have finished. In today's session, we are going to start last unit, 8th unit. So unit name is Human Rights. Human Rights. Coming to a reading, it is Jamaican Fragment. Jamaican Fragment. Okay, everybody open your textbooks. Open page number 224. First, let us discuss about the face sheet. One quotation was given there, children. So, let us see that what it is. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. I repeat, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. Some questions are also given. Let us see the questions first. What is the first one? What does this statement speak about? So what do you think? This statement, what it is speaking about? What is the meaning of this statement? What do you think, children? All human beings. So human beings means we. All the people are born free. What is the meaning of born free here? That means by birth itself we have freedom. Do we have freedom or not, children? By birth itself, yes, we are having freedom by birth itself. It is like one of our rights. And equal in dignity. So dignity means it's like respect. Each and everyone, all are equal. We should respect all the people. Maybe they are belong to any lower caste, or maybe their economical position is very less. Even though we have to respect. That respect, yes, it is also having each and every human being. It is their right. They should be respected by everyone. That is their birthright. Of course, and rights. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. You know about fundamental rights. How many fundamental rights are there? According to our constitution in our country, we have 6. What are the, children? Like right to equality, right to freedom, right against the exploitation, right to freedom of religion, right to property, right to constitutional remedies. These are our fundamental rights. So each and every one, irrespective of their caste, gender, religion, creed, group, or else rich or poor, whatever it may be, everyone is having all these rights. All are equal before law. We have right to speak. We have that right. We can speak. We can express our feelings without any fear. We need not to be scared of anyone. All these are rights. That is the meaning of this statement. Okay, children? What is the second one? Do you agree or disagree to the statement? Justify. So, do you agree with this or disagree? So, it is up to you. If you agree, okay, or else you can disagree also. That's your wish. Again, you have that right. So, you need not to be agree whatever I'm saying. So, as I'm saying, you need not to agree for that. You can put your own point. You may disagree also, right? So, if you are going to agree or disagree, whatever it is, you need to be able to justify your answer. How and why? Why do you think? If you think it is like not correct, why? What is the reason for that? You should be able to justify your answer. Okay. Next one. Have you ever witnessed any incidents in contrast to the above statement? Tell your class. So here in your real life, okay, in your surroundings, in your neighborhood, have you ever experienced any kind of incidents like this, which are contrast to this statement? Contrast means opposite. Okay, that means violation of rights. Anyway, children, we can observe all these in our society. in our lessons, previous lessons itself, we have seen different types of discriminations. Okay, gender discrimination we have seen, and caste discrimination we have seen, untouchability we have seen, right? All these are against of this statement. Then are you able to observe this in your locality? If yes, just you need to give one example. Okay, next, coming to the oral discourse, it's a debate, children. So children should not have equal dignity and rights as adults. So do you agree with this? Obviously, I know 100%. Nobody is willing to agree this one, right? Obviously, you also want the same dignity and rights equal along with the adults. Yes, of course, children also must have dignity and rights. Okay, coming to the reading A, Jamaican Fragment. So do you know, children, where it is? Jamaica? I think you know this. Jamaica is a small island, children. Island means you know that land which is covered by water on 4 sides. Where it is located, this Jamaica, this island, small island, you can find near Caribbean Sea. So if you see or if you look at our world map between North America and South America, you can find Caribbean Sea. In that Caribbean islands, you can find this small Jamaica island. So the people who are living there are called as Jamaicans. So we are referred as Indians. Like that, the people on that island who are living there, they are called as Jamaican. Coming to the people, most of the people, they are of course Africans, children. They are migrated from Africa to Jamaica. Okay, fragment. So fragment means, we know that, right? Like small pieces. It's a very small island. In this lesson, we are going to know or it's a one topic about racial discrimination, children. Obviously, you know about racial discrimination. So white race, white people, that means Americans. Black race, black people, Africans. We know about the domination of white people over the black people, right? So they actually, black people, they were suppressed by the white people. That is called as racial discrimination. So blacks, they fought for their rights. Finally, they got that. Finally, they got that equal rights along with the white people. Totally, that racial discrimination was eradicated. This lesson is also indicates or gives some information about racial discrimination. There was one person, Jamaican, so who had grown up in that situation. Okay, so his mindset was always like that. He was always used to think about the racism. Maybe again the white people are going to suppress or they are going to dominate the black people. Okay, that kind of fearness was already there in the author, we can say author of this lesson. Okay, so it shows his feelings. What it is exactly we'll see in the lesson. Before going to start the lesson, let us see about the author. So this lesson, it was written by A.L. Hendricks. Who is the author of this lesson, children? A.L. Hendricks. Let us see about the author. Open page number 228. Author le1 Hendricks. He was born in the year 1922. He was died in the year 1992. Was a Jamaican poet, writer and broadcasting director. That's why he was known as Mickey Hendricks in his broadcasting career. So Arthur le1 Hendricks was also known as Mickey Hendricks as he was a broadcasting director. Okay, next. He was born in 1922 in Kingston, Jamaica, to a Jamaican father and a French mother. He was particularly well known for his contributions to the Christian Science monitor, the Daily Gleaner and BRN. He also contributed as a columnist and literary critic to the Daily Gleaner. He died in the year 1992 at the age of 69. See here, critic. So critics means generally opposes, point outs, who opposes, who doesn't support. So he was like a columnist. Columnist means he used to write some columns in that daily paper, Daily Gleaner, like literary critic. He was famous for that. Okay, that was about the author. Now let us see the lesson. So here author itself. Let us see. This was narrated by the author itself. Okay, so he is the author here, A.L. Hendricks. So whenever you get I in this lesson, we need to think it is author A.L. Hendricks. Okay, let us start the first paragraph, page number 225. Every day I walk a half mile from my home to the tram car lines in the morning and from the lines to my home in the evening. So here, author, he was having one habit every day. So what was his hobby? Every day he used to walk a half mile from his home to the tram car lines. So these tram car lines you might have seen in movies, children. On the roads itself will find tracks and small trains will be there. Okay, so passengers to travel. Even in our country we can find in Bangalore. Okay, so how was the distance? How much was the distance from his home to the tram car lines? It was half a mile. So he used to walk regularly in the morning and from the lines to my home in the evening. So morning he used to start from his home to the lines. Again he used to return to his house from that lines to the house. The walk is pleasant. So the author, he used to felt that walk as a pleasant. That means he finds it quite interesting. The road on either side is flanked by red and green roofed bungalows, green lawns and gardens. He was describing the road. Okay, road from his house to the tram car lines he was describing. How was the road? That road was on having on either side it was flanked by means to have something on one or both sides. To have something on one or both sides. So what it was there on the both sides or one side of the road? So the both sides of the road, it was covered with red and green roofed bungalows. Bungalow means you know that, right? Buildings. Not only that, even on both sides of the road, we can find green lawns and gardens. Right? Next. The exercise is good for me and now and then I learned something from a little incident. So this lesson is about the description of one incident that was taken place in his life. Okay, that was his hobby. While he was walking like that, one day he was witness to one incident. He experienced one incident. So the lesson is about that incident. So he learned something from that incident. What it is? One morning, about halfway between my front gate and the tram track, I noticed two little boys playing in the garden of the more modest cottages. As usual, one day he was going. He was on his morning walk. It was like the distance from his gate to track, it was like half of the distance. Actually, he said half mile, right? So he finished half of that. Okay. There, actually, one day he saw that, noticed means observed, two little boys were playing in the garden before the modest cottages. So cottages means you can see like buildings only. In the picture you can see that. Okay. Before that cottages, two boys were playing. They were both very little boys. One was 4 years old, perhaps the other 5. Both the boys are very small. They were looking like one is of 4 years and another one is 5 years. The bigger of the two was a sturdy youngster, very dark, with a mat of coarse hair on his head and coal black eyes. This is the description of the boy. Okay, bigger one. How was the bigger one? He was looking very sturdy. Sturdy means strong and healthy. The bigger boy, he was looking very strong and healthy, dark in color. Okay. Next, he was having mat of coarse hair. So if you observe Africans, how the hair will be. He was having like that hair, coal black eyes. He was definitely a little Jamaican. So he thought, by looking at that boy, the author, immediately he thought, obviously he is a little Jamaican, no doubt in that. By looking at or taking his appearance itself, we can say that he is Jamaican. A strong little Jamaican. The other little fellow was smaller, but also sturdy. Even smaller one also sturdy. He was white. Okay, first one actually he was dark in color, but second one white. He was having hazel eyes with light brown hair. Hazel eyes means reddish brown eyes. And how was his hair? He was having light brown hair. So if you look at Americans, you can see that, right? Both were dressed in blue shirts and khaki pants. If you observe the picture, you can understand this. Blue shirts and khaki pants. Next, there were no shoes and their feet were muddy. So both of them were not wearing shoes. So that's why their feet were looking muddy. They were not conscious of my standing there watching them. They played on. So they were not conscious. So other just simply he stood there. He was observing them, but they were not aware of that. Okay. The game, if it could be called a game, was not elaborate. Both of them were playing. They were playing some game. But here the author doesn't know the name of the game. Details were also not clear. But he understood both of them were playing some game. The little white boy strode imperiously up and down and every now and then shouted imperiously at his bigger playmate. The little brown boy shuffled along quietly behind him and did what he was told. Both of the boys were playing some game. Little one, what is he doing? He was giving some instructions to the bigger one. Okay, so he was walking imperiously. Imperiously means without having any intention, just he was walking here and there. Okay, and not only that, even the smaller one, he was shouting at bigger one. The little brown boy shuffled. Shuffled means he walked very slowly and the bigger one was following him. The little one was going here and there without having any reason. Little one was shouting at bigger one even without any reason. The bigger one was following him slowly and doing whatever the smaller one is saying. That was observed by the author. Okay, children. So I'm going to end today's session. In next session, we'll continue the lesson. Okay. So just if possible, read the lesson once today. Thank you.